welcome to Prog Review episode 535. Sounds about right. And today I'm talking about Is This the Life We Really Want? By Roger Waters. That there, Roger Waters. If you want to see the unboxing, go back a few in the video sequence and you'll see it. This is the fourth or fifth, is the opera a studio album? If I say fourth studio rock album, will the pedants leave me alone? Possibly. Released on the 2nd of June 2017. Apparently, according to Wikipedia, been working on it for 7 years. So there you go. And his producer is Nigel Godrich, who we know for helping the likes of Radiohead bring their albums to fruition. It's going to divide people. It's going to divide. There are going to be people that say it's the best thing ever, and there's going to be people that say, "Oh, that lefty Roger Waters, he hasn't written a good tune in ages." Oh. It will divide people. It will divide people. It helps if you like Roger Waters. It helps if you are of his political persuasion. It helps if you appreciate that this is somebody who is 73 years old, who is still rocking on, and is still as angry as he was when he was a young man. That takes something, because normally, as you tend to chill a bit, don't you, as you get a bit older. But not a dear Rog, for he presents us with the album that we need at this time and place in our history. It's one of those albums. It's very much the same way Amused to Death was of its time. So is this record. It is very much of the now. However, Mr. Waters is very clever because he doesn't name people. Not like the Final Cut where he names politicians and there instantly dates the song. Here he blocks is a bit more clever. It's kind of a concept album, but I'm not sure what the concept is yet. It could be that we're all just a bit pissed off. That's the concept album. For there are sound effects. There's getting on tube trains. There's the shipping forecast and the end of broadcasting messages and Happy New Year, Christmas messages from the BBC. There is an auditory soundtrack going on in the background, but I'm not sure exactly what the narrative is. It could be about getting old. You sense that this is someone reflecting. This is somebody looking back. This is someone looking back at the past, looking at the regrets. Again, regret is an important theme of the album. There's love, lost love. There's also this political strand that's going through it and history repeating itself. There's a lot going on. There's a lot to digest. It opens with When We Were Young, which is, again, it comes out of nowhere. It's Roger talking against himself. Bits of broken dialogue. I wonder who he's talking to. I'm still ugly and you're still fat. I wonder who he could be referring to. But it sets the tone of the piece. Looking back. Reflective. Maudlin even, and then we hit deja vu. We've already heard this song, and it's a really strong track on the album. If I'd have been God, if I'd have been a drone, he's putting himself in various positions, seeing how these scenarios work out. I like it. Strong track on the album. Same with The Last Refugee. It's almost a love song. I think he mentions his daughter on the beach again. I was only on the beach with my daughter the other day, looking at the sea and digging around in the stones, and so that it has an impact, it has an emotional impact. Picture that. Very strong track. Broken Bones. Is it life we really want? Bird and a Gal is, it's again, that one, I think it's Is This the Life We Really Want? I think it's that one where you've got the drum beat and it sounds like a Radiohead song. You think, What I like about this, again, to step out of it, is that it is stripped back. It is a very stripped back album. If you're coming here expecting grand musical works, themes, well, there are Deja Vu and what was the one? Is it Wait for Her? Repeats itself. There are thematic, but you are not going to get great long noodly guitar solos and whatnot. What you're getting instead is Roger looking back at his back catalogue of tricks and licks and reusing them. And this is going to annoy a lot of people. A lot of people are going to go, "Oh, he's copying that from Sheep, and that from Dogs, and that from Wish You Were Here, and that from The Final Cut, and that from whatever." That's what you're going to get. You're going to get some people complaining about that. To me, I'm giving him a free pass. He's 73 years old. It's been 25 years between rock albums, and so I'm giving him a free pass on this. It's all about the words. It's all about the lyrics. It's a very verbose album, and you've got to pay attention. Again, Most Beautiful Girl is a love song. Wait for Her is a love song. Of course, Smell the Roses. He's railing against, what's going on. There's a lot of political stuff in that, historical stuff in that as well. Oceans Apart, and then A Part of Me Died, which the album comes to a rather abrupt halt and kind of wants you to resolve itself, because it doesn't resolve itself. This is the interesting thing about the records, is it just stops. It stops dead in its tracks, to the point when I first heard it, I actually went, I actually double bluffed, double checked it, so double take. What did it? Is it stopped? To the point of me not being sure if maybe it was a false ending and it was going to come back again. But yeah, it's an angry, reflective album from an old man. I love it because it speaks to me. It speaks to me of this time, this uncertain time we live in. But then every time seems to be... The more life goes on, the more you realise that life is uncertain. There is no security. There is no golden age. Again, I think this is why people hark back to like the 50s, because after what went on in World War II and rationing and things like that, the 50s are regarded as like a golden age, because it was a period where... a small period of almost stability, of almost calm, and then we hit the 60s, and Vietnam, and the socio-economic, political changes that came up with the 60s, and then the 70s and whatnot. And so, this just goes to frame that we live in uncertain times, and the finger is pointed at a certain person. He's used in the sound effects, in a clip of him speaking this, but he's not named, which is good, because it means it retains its timeless ability. Again, if this would have been released earlier, some of the stuff could have been referring to George W. Bush. Again, that's going to annoy people. It's going to annoy people on the right. They're not going to like it. So, I can see it being a very divisive record. I personally like it. It speaks to me. It has an emotional core. Even though there aren't any grand musical statements on this, I don't expect them. See, Roger does all his work with the words. All the work of his is words. He's a consummate lyricist, and a man that knows how to, get an emotion across in a line. He's very clever like that. I think it's again, I wasn't expecting much. And every track that dribbled out, Smell the Roses, Deja Vu, I thought, wow, this is And yeah, I think maybe there you could trim. I don't know. I'm trying to think Bird and a Gale off, but I think again every song on this has got a reason to be there, you know. So yeah, you've got to be a certain person and like a certain lyrical style, you know, to appreciate this. But the thing is it means something. It has meaning to it, you know. And there are very, very few albums that come out that you know. I mean, Waters can do a political album, and you can believe him. You can believe that he is angry about it. I mean, you know, compared to the fluff that Marillion brought out with the Fear album, this, you know, takes a long, hard poop on top of that, you know, because he's got history. You know, he's angry on, you know, Animals and The Wall and The Final Cut, and to a lesser extent Radio Chaos, and back to a greater extent to Amused to Death. In a way, it could be regarded as Amused to Death Part 2, though, like I say, it's a much more of a personal album. It hasn't got the broader scope of that. This is a much more personal take. And again, I find that very brave, because it comes across in the music, in the words and the music. And I like the fact that Godrich just stripped back. It's acoustic guitars, it's piano, it's drums, and I like the simplicity of it. You're going to say it's boring. That's fine. That's I'd say print out the lyrics and sit down with it and study it and get inside it. You know. But I can understand if you don't like it, if your politics don't flow that way, or if you're just tired of hearing people moan. I can understand why. But for me, it works a hell of a lot better than, say, Marillion's political statement, though they were brave to try. You know, I think again a lot of musicians, you know, feel that it's their turn to step up. But Roger Waters has been doing that the whole time. He never stood down, did he, really? So, yeah, in terms of a rating, I give this... Oh, blimey. I'm going to give it 5 broken bones out of 5. 5 broken bones out of 5. And the reason... It's not a great album. It's not a classic album. But it's an album for now. You know? So that's what it gets at. And also, it confounded my expectations, because I wasn't expecting much from it. But, like I said, as more and more came in, I thought, yeah, this is solid. It's a solid work. And I think you should check it out. But like I said, it's not going to be for everyone. It's going to divide the fans. Fans are going to say he's copying himself, or you know. But you can't copy something if you were the creator, if you know what I mean. Or can you? I don't know. Riffing on himself. I don't know. Yeah, so I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it, and I think I will be, you know, I'll give it a spin now and again. It's a work of heart, and you don't get many of those these days. Sometimes you think, you know, musicians are just being a little bit cynical, but no, Roger's not like that. Or is he? I'll let you decide. But anyway, thank you for tuning in and listening to me burble on about Is This the Life We Really Want from Roger Waters. Again, he cements himself as the balls and heart of Pink Floyd. You know, that's what you get. And yeah, like I say, do give it a chance. But I understand wholeheartedly why you wouldn't like it. Again, you've got to be a certain, facing a certain way. So yeah, thank you for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed that and it makes sense. I don't know. Does it make any sense? But yeah, it must be a good album, because whenever I hear an album, and so I'm gonna leave you this thought. Whenever I hear if an album must be good, if on listening to it, I think, fuck, I want to write some music. I want to put some music down, and that's the effect it had on me. It made me want to write some words down and maybe do some songs, and that's how I tell it's a good album. because albums that make you want to be creative or trigger a part of your mind to, the imagery, the imagery used in it is, fertile. It's fertile ground, and that's how I know it's a good album. And I'll leave you with that anyway. Don't forget, there's a social media, there's Patreon, there's my music. It's all out there. It's all in the links if you want to have a look in the links below. There's a load of links down in the description you can click on. And we'll do this all again. There's only one more thing to say. And you know. Yes, you know what that is. And that is Prog on, Prog on, Prog on, Prog on, Prog on. He does a lot of that on this album.